I didn't cover my neighbor's grocery bill after they repeatedly borrowed my stuff without returning it. My neighbor Lisa has been living next door for about 2 years now, and she's one of those people who always needs to borrow something. At first, I thought she was just being friendly and neighborly, so I didn't mind helping out. It started small. She'd knock on my door asking to borrow a cup of sugar or some eggs because she was making cookies for her kids. No big deal, right? I've done that before. But then it became a weekly thing. She borrowed my good mixing bowls and kept them for 3 weeks. When I finally asked for them back, she acted all surprised, like she forgot she even had them. Then she borrowed my hedge trimmer and returned it with a broken handle, saying it was already like that. The worst was when she asked to borrow my nice dress for some work event. I was hesitant, but said okay since we're the same size. That was 6 months ago, and I still haven't seen that dress. Every time I bring it up, she says she'll wash it and bring it over, but it never happens. Last month, she borrowed my pressure washer to clean her driveway. 2 weeks later, I needed it for my own driveway and had to go ask for it back. She said her husband was still using it for some project. When I finally got it back, it was completely empty and covered in dried concrete. But the final straw happened last Tuesday. I was unloading groceries from my car when Lisa came running over looking all frantic. She said her debit card got declined at the store and she had a cart full of food that she really needed for dinner. She begged me to come back to the store with her and pay for her groceries. She promised she'd pay me back the next day when her paycheck went through. The total was $180, which isn't exactly pocket change for me. I looked at this woman who currently had my dress, my good casserole dish, my extension ladder, and my leaf blower, and I just said no. She looked shocked, like she couldn't believe I wouldn't help her out. She started going on about how neighbors should help each other and how she was really desperate. I told her I'd be happy to help neighbors who actually return the things they borrow. Lisa got all defensive and said she always gives my stuff back eventually. I started listing off everything she currently had of mine, and her face got redder with each item. She tried to say that some of those things were gifts, which made me even madder. She said she'd bring everything back right now if I'd just help her with the groceries. I told her she should have brought my stuff back months ago without being asked. That's what good neighbors do. Lisa started crying and said her kids would go hungry if I didn't help. I felt bad for a second, but then I remembered she drives a brand new SUV and just got back from a vacation in Florida. I suggested she call her sister, who lives 10 minutes away, or use a credit card. She said her sister was busy and her credit cards were maxed out. That's when I realized this wasn't an emergency. It was poor planning on her part. I told her I couldn't help someone who had shown me repeatedly that they don't respect other people's property. She called me selfish and stormed off. 20 minutes later, her husband came over with my dress, my casserole dish, and my leaf blower. He apologized and said he didn't know Lisa had borrowed so much stuff. He seemed genuinely embarrassed about the whole situation. He told me they figured out the grocery situation by returning some items they didn't really need. Apparently, Lisa had filled the cart with expensive steaks and name brand everything instead of sticking to basics. The next day, Lisa brought back my extension ladder and hedge trimmer without saying a word. She just left them on my porch with a note that said, "Here's your stuff back." Since then, she hasn't asked to borrow a single thing. We still wave when we see each other, but the constant knocking on my door has completely stopped. Last week, I saw her borrowing a lawnmower from the people across the street. I just smiled and went back inside.